Okay, we're 12:05. We're going to go for it. I did just tell people to email me if they couldn't make it live, so I'm going to mute everybody. And we'll get started. Oh, here's someone just in time, just in under the wire. Here we go. Okay. Hi, Jenny, welcome. I was just about to get started, so you made it just in time. Well done. Okay. Again, today, if you've got blocks or two heavy books like a dictionary, or I mean, does anybody? I still have a dictionary because when Simon and I first got together, he gave me a dictionary and a thesaurus as a gift, and I keep them because they're special. I don't know if anyone still has a dictionary or if you just use your phone. But that kind of size book is helpful. So, or if you've got yoga blocks, if you don't have any of these, they're so useful, and you can get them on Amazon for like, you can get, I think I got 2 for like 12 or 13 pounds. So they're really useful to have for some of the poses, just for like some more support. You don't need them. You can use books, but they are nice. Just trying to make sure you can all see me. Let's get started, shall we? Okay. Oh, I've been running around this morning, so I'm looking forward to this. We're just gonna take a minute in easy pose again, Sukhasana, legs crossed, sitting on your bum. And today we're just gonna meditate on the voices that we listen to in our lives, the influences that we have, the voices that are speaking to us about who we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to be doing. So we're just gonna really be still. Just intentionally still today to identify those and take some time to weed out what voices are valuable and which ones are not serving us. So just take a minute to arrive on your mat. And can everybody hear me? I'm just gonna give me a thumbs up so I know. Yeah. Okay. Just take a minute here to be present in this moment. Notice where your body is touching the floor. Really ground down into your mat through your sits bones. Find length from your tailbone up through your sacrum, along your spine, through the back of your neck. Just find a little lift from the crown of your head, creating a little space in your spine. Just connect with our breath again. If you can, just take one inhale and try and breathe all the way down into your belly. So we're going to just try and isolate like a really low breath. So on this first inhale, imagine your diaphragm lowering and your breath, directing your breath down into your tummy. What we find sometimes is that we walk around all day and realize when we stop that we've been breathing up here, like right in our upper chest all day. So we want to just bring that breath all the way down. Maybe put your hand on your lower belly just so you can feel the air. See if you can breathe in and let your belly expand so that it pushes your hand away from your stomach. And then just a really long exhale. And on the next inhale, See if you can breathe all the way down into your tummy, but then once your tummy's full, breathe into your ribs. So we're gonna try and, last time we isolated just the tummy, this time we're gonna go tummy and then ribs. So inhale, feel your tummy expand, feel your ribs expand. Remember last week we talked about feeling that expansion in every direction, so side to side, front to back. And take a slow exhale. On your next inhale, we're going to do 3 parts. So we're going down into the belly, then the ribs, and then the upper chest. So really take a deep inhale, the deepest breath in that you've taken all day. You may even want to bring your other hand to your heart. And as you inhale, see if you can feel your hand on your belly pushing away, then your ribs, and then finally your upper chest. Let's just do a few more of those in your own time, but just really slow, deep inhales. Drawing the breath down to your belly, and then your ribs, and then finally your upper chest. And on your exhale, see if you can reverse that order. So if you're filling up your belly and then your ribs and then your upper chest, as you exhale, can you release your chest and then your ribs and then your belly, drawing your navel into your spine so that you're almost pushing that air. You draw it down in, and then as you exhale, you're drawing your navel into your spine to push the air back out in the same direction that it came in. Just take a couple more of those. And notice as you breathe, how are you arriving today? Do you feel tense? Have you been rushing around? Are you tired? And take a minute before we move on just to express gratitude for this moment and gratitude to yourself for showing up. Beautiful. Okay, on your next inhale, you reach your arms overhead. And on your exhale, twist to the left. Right hand comes to the left knee, left hand comes behind you onto the floor. Just to take a spinal twist. Careful not to relax back into that left shoulder, but use the left hand, even maybe bring it close into your bum and just use it to help yourself find some lift in your spine. So on your next inhale, find a little bit more length in your spine. And on your exhale, see if you can just deepen that twist a little bit, maybe even taking the gaze over past the left shoulder. Beautiful. Okay, slowly come back to center. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, twist to the right. Left hand comes to the right knee. Right hand comes behind you on the floor. We're going to stay here for a couple of breaths, doing the same thing. On an inhale, finding length and height in the spine. And on an exhale, finding a little bit more depth in the twist. Beautiful. Come back to the center. Let's take a minute just to really find some space in our neck. So if you'll drop your head forward, chin to chest. Just stay connected to that breath too. As you breathe in, expanding the ribs in every direction, side to side, front to back, top to bottom, and really elongating your exhale. You roll your head over to your right shoulder, wherever feels comfortable here. So this shouldn't hurt, but just whatever feels like your appropriate edge, where you're just finding a little bit of space in the left side of your neck, your left shoulder, down the left side of your back. Bring your head back down to center, chin to chest, and then roll over to the left side. Really nice. Maybe take a minute here just to notice what feels good in your body, where you might have a little bit of tightness in your neck or your shoulders. You can roll your head. Just notice what feels good to you. Find a little bit of space in your neck. And then in your own time, come back to center. Find that height in your spine again. Bring your hands to your knees. And on an inhale, use your hands to pull your upper body forward, finding a little bit of a bend in your back, opening your chest forward and lifting your face to the sky. So this is almost like a seated cow position. So if you remember us doing cow in tabletop last week, we're just doing this. This is kind of the same shape, but in a seated position. And then on your exhale, we're going to do a seated cat. So again, just roll your tailbone under, find an arch in your back. Feel that skin between your shoulders pulling apart. Tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale back to that cow, opening your chest forward. Pelvis tilted forward. Face lifted. And then exhale, arching your back, really pulling away with your hands on your knees, really pulling away from your knees so that you feel the tension in your arms as you pull your back away from your knees. Do one more of those. Inhale to open your chest. See if you can just find a really fluid movement here as you exhale back into cat. Really nice. Okay, slowly, like you love yourself, we're going to move into tabletop. So come onto all fours. Wrists are underneath your shoulders. Your elbow creases are pointing to the front of the mat. Knees are underneath your hips. And the tops of your feet are on your mat. Back is nice and straight, like you want to balance a cup of tea here on a saucer. Really nice. And you're just going to look straight down at your mat, just finding a little bit of length through that spine from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. Length in the back of the neck. Before we move on from here, let's just take a minute even to notice where you might feel any tightness or tension in your low back. Maybe just move around a little bit on your mat so you can swing your hips from side to side. Maybe rock back and forth. Just notice what feels good in your body. Really nice. Okay, we're going to take the hands slightly forward, tuck the toes underneath, and then push up into down dog. So push hips
up and back, tailbone toward the back of the room. Arms nice and straight. They're really pushing down through your hands into the mat, and your head should be just in line with your biceps here. Maybe just take a minute here too, as your muscles start to wake up, just to pedal your feet out. And find some length. Really start to warm up the backs of those hamstrings. Really nice. So you want strong shoulders here, so we're not dropping down into our shoulders. We're really using the strength of your shoulders and your back so that there's an energetic line from your shoulders all the way down to your hands as you push the mat away from you. Just take a couple of breaths here. And on your next inhale, look forward to the top of the mat. And on an exhale, just take as many steps as you need to make your way up to the top of your mat. You can jump up if you want, depending on how energetic you feel. Or you can just take little baby steps, whatever feels right to you. Really nice. We're just gonna stay here in a forward fold for a minute, okay? So feet really grounded into your mat. If you put your fists together side by side like this and can fit them between your feet, that's about the distance you want your feet apart here. Keep a nice bend in your knees. If you need a big bend, if your muscles aren't warmed up yet, that's fine. You can bring your hands to the mat if that feels good. If that's too far away from you, you can bring them to your shins or even put them on a couple of blocks or books. But just let your head hang for a minute. Let the weight of your head help you find a little bit more length in the back of your neck and your spine. You might want to grab your elbows here and just swing side to side gently. Just take a minute. Nice. And on an inhale, we're just going to roll really slowly up, one vertebra at a time. All the way up to Tadasana, mountain pose. When you get to the top, bring your shoulders up to your ears and then just roll them down your back, opening your chest to the front of the room. You can rock forward onto the balls of your feet and then back onto the heels. You rock side to side on your feet and then just find a nice rooted position somewhere in between all those four corners. You find a really strong base. From here, we're going to move through a couple of sun salutations. If you're familiar with yoga and you know how to do this, then feel free to just go through these at your own pace. I know that a few of us are beginners, so I'm just going to walk you through them. We'll start quite slow, okay? So on an inhale, reach your arms overhead, bring your palms together. And on an exhale, take those hands and just slice down the middle back into a forward fold. On an inhale, lift halfway up so that you find a nice flat back. And you can bring your hands here to your shins or your knees, but imagine your body making the shape of a 7. And make sure not to lock your knees here, but just leave a little micro bend in them. On an exhale, bring your hands to your mat. Step your left foot back. Step your right foot back. And now we're in plank. Take an inhale here. And on an exhale, bring your knees to the mat. I'm not sure if we've got any pregnant people here. So today, if you are pregnant, then just stay here and maybe do a cow. If you're not pregnant, Then slowly, just leaving your elbows close to your body, use strong arms and bring your body down to your mat so that your front body is lying on the mat. Really nice. And then on an inhale, use your hands to push your chest up for cobra. So face is looking forward, chest is open to the front of the room, tops of feet are on the mat. Legs are flexed, toes are pointed away so that there's an energetic line from your toes up your legs, up your spine, out the crown of your head. Really nice. Now we're going to exhale. We're going to tuck our toes under. Use those strong arms to push ourselves up into down dog. Really good. Just notice how this down dog, again, might feel different than your first one. We're going to do a few more of these. So maybe every time just kind of take stock in here and notice how this feels in your body. Really nice. On an inhale, look forward to your hands. On an exhale, take as many steps as you need to come back to the top of your mat. Inhale, hinge at the hips, stand all the way up. Bring your hands overhead. And then on an exhale, bring your hands to heart in prayer position. Really nice. Let's do another one. Inhale, hands overhead, palms come together. Exhale, slice the air down the middle, down into forward fold. On an inhale, come halfway up, hands to shins. This is our 7 shape. So nice flat back, finding space from the tailbone through the spine, through the crown of the head. And on an exhale, bend back down. Bring your hands to the mat, step your left foot back, step your right foot back into plank. On an exhale, bring your knees to the mat. And then strong arms, bend your elbows, slowly lowering your front body to your mat. And then on an inhale, lifting your chest and your face to the front of the room for cobra. Really nice, well done. Now we're going to tuck our toes again. On an exhale, push back up into down dog. You can pedal those feet out again if you want to. Just notice how your body feels and what feels good to you here. On an inhale, look to the front of your mat. And on an exhale, make your way back to the front into your forward fold. Inhale, hinge at the hips, stand straight up, arms overhead, palms together. And on an exhale, bring your prayer hands to your heart. Really nice. Well done. Let's go for another one. Ready? Inhale, arms overhead, palms together. And then exhale, slice down the middle, back into forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold down, hands to the mat. Right foot back, left foot back into plank. Let's just take a couple of breaths here, really strong plank. On an exhale, bring those knees to the mat and lower your body slowly with strong arms down to the mat. On an inhale, lift your face and your chest for cobra. On an exhale, tuck your toes and push your body, hips back and up into down dog. Really nice. Just stay here for a couple of breaths. You can pedal the feet out if that feels good. Or just hold it for a minute, whatever feels right in your body. And as you breathe here, Can you just think for a minute, is there a voice that you hear in your head that is not kind or loving to you? Is it the voice of a teacher, a parent, a partner? Is it your own voice? Your inner critic? As you breathe here, can you imagine what it would be like to come out of this position, stand back up, and leave that voice behind? Can you let go of what isn't serving you? Take an inhale, look forward to the top of your mat, and then on an exhale, use as many steps as you need to walk up to the front. Hinge at the hips, stand up, arms overhead, palms together, and let's meet in Tadasana. So if you were doing your sun salutations on your own time, we'll stand here for just a minute and wait for you to arrive and meet us in mountain pose. You can have your hands at your heart here or down by your sides with your palms facing forward. Grounding down through your back body so that it feels like your tailbone is reaching down toward the floor. You roll your shoulders back down your back so that they're behind your heart space. And what we're going to do here is step back with your right foot so that your left knee is over your left ankle. Your right foot is at a 90-degree angle to your left foot. Nice wide stance here. And your back foot is going to be parallel to the back of your mat for Warrior Two. So arms go out side to side or front to back, I guess, depending on how you're thinking. But left arm comes out over left knee. Right arm goes out past the right foot. And see if you can imagine your hips pointing toward the long side of your mat. So rather than kind of in a lunge position with hips facing forward to the top of the mat, you want your hips open to the side, really finding some openness in the hips and the groin. Inhale and straighten that left knee and bring hands overhead together, palms together. And then exhale, drop back down into Warrior Two. Really pressing down through the knife edge of your back foot and finding strength up through your inner thighs. On an inhale, straighten the left knee again, bring palms together overhead. And on an exhale, bend the left knee again, left knee over left ankle. Make sure that knee isn't going out past the toes. Then flip that front palm so that instead of facing down, it's facing the sky. Bring your right hand down to your right thigh. And we're going to do a reverse warrior here. So bringing the left hand overhead, taking the gaze up with it. Finding a little back bend. And then coming back down in to Warrior Two. You're going to straighten the left leg again. Bring the left hand down to the inside of the left thigh. The right hand overhead. And then take the gaze up to the right hand, opening the upper body to the right side of the room. Really nice. Okay, hands come back down. Stand up, and then we're going to pivot this left foot so that both feet are facing the long side of your mat. Take a minute here just to find a really strong base. Energetically pulling up through your inner thighs. Hands come to hips. And then if you do have blocks here, you may want them, but it's up to you what feels right to you. So what we're going to do is just slowly and with control, with love, hinge at the hips, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. So the hands can come to the mat here if that's available to you. They can come to the shins, or if you have blocks, you can put them on your blocks. You can even stack your blocks up and rest your head on your blocks, bringing your hands down to your mat. Just stay here for a minute, finding some space in the backs of the legs. Notice where you might be working quite hard in this pose, and see if you can let go a little bit. Just another deep inhale here, seeing if you can breathe down into your belly. A deep exhale. And on your next inhale, bring your hands to your hips and slowly and with control, hinge at the hips and come back into standing. Maintaining those wide legs, grounding down through the back body and lifting through the front body with your heart open to the side of the room. Really nice. Now we're going to pivot the right foot so that we're facing the opposite side of the room. Leaving that left foot so that it's parallel to the back of your mat and at a 90-degree angle to your right foot. Bringing your right knee over your right ankle, and we're coming back into Warrior Two on the right side here. So arms out, right arm over right knee, left arm goes back past left foot, hips open to the side of the room, palms facing down, grounding down through the back body, lifting your chest. On an inhale, straighten the front knee, bring arms overhead together, palms together. On an exhale, come back down into Warrior Two. On an inhale, same thing again, straighten the knee, bring hands together, and then come back down into Warrior Two. Flip that right palm so that it's facing the sky. Bring your left hand down to your left thigh. And then bring the right hand overhead, finding a little bit of a back bend and taking the gaze up to the right hand for Reverse Warrior. Now straighten the right leg so that we're in a triangle pose again. Both legs are straight, but feet are in the same position. Bring the right hand down to the inside of the right knee, and the left hand goes straight up. If this is too much on your neck to take your gaze up to your left hand, you can just take it to the side of the room. But try and keep your chest and nice and open to the side of the room. If you're finding pain in your neck or your shoulder here, then be kind to yourself. Breathe deep here, down into your belly. Feel your torso expand in every direction. Exhale slowly. And then on an inhale, come back to standing. Really nice. Now we're going to rotate that right foot in so that again, we're facing the long edge of our mat in a wide-legged stance. And we're just going to do the same thing again here, this wide-legged forward fold. So bring your hands to your hips and then slowly and with control, really lovingly, hinge at the hips and bring yourself down into a wide-legged forward fold. See if you can find a little bit more space here in the backs of your legs. Again, hands can come to the floor. You can come to your knuckles. You can come to your palms. See if you can just drop the weight of your head down.
maybe even rock yourself just ever so slightly forward. Finding a little bit more space in the backs of the legs. If you need to, you can bring your blocks here again. We're just gonna hang out here for a couple of breaths.
And as you find your breath here, as you make space in your body, what does love want to say to you? If you quiet the voices saying that you are not enough, that you're doing your job wrong, that you're parenting wrong, that you're being the wrong kind of friend. If we tell those voices to shut up, what does the voice of love say to us in their place? On an inhale, bring your hands to your hips, slowly, slowly. With love, come back up to standing. Really nice, guys. Well done. Now we are going to do a little tree practice. Okay, so we're gonna just heel toe our ways in, our feet in so that feet come together. Well done. And you've got a couple of options here. So I'm gonna give you 3 choices. Just take a minute to kind of ground down here, find a nice steady base. I'm gonna give you 3 choices of kind of where to land here, and it is completely up to you to listen to your body and to know what you need today. Okay, so option 1 is to just lift the right heel up off the ground, come onto the toes, and just bring that right heel to the inside of the left shin, or just above the ankle, I guess. The second option, that might be where you want to hang out today, and that is cool. You hang out there. The second option is to lift your right knee in front of you, almost like we've got it on a little marionette string. Lift it, open the leg to the right side, and bring your foot flat against the inside of your left shin to find some balance here. And then your third option is to do the same thing. Lift up, grab your right foot, and bring it to the inside of your left thigh. So those are your choices. If you want to try and balance up here, that's totally fine. If you fall out of tree and you need to get back in, totally acceptable. So just notice what feels right in your body. Hands can come overhead. They can come to your heart in prayer pose, or you can just keep them on your hips if that feels like it helps you to balance. See if you can really ground down through that left foot so that we're not kind of tilting to the left or putting all the, what am I trying to say? So that the hips are even with each other. We're gonna stay here. So if you can actually find a spot on the wall that you can focus on, that really helps balance. Take a deep breath in, and then really carefully come back down into standing. Really nice. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. As you do this, just notice and have grace for yourself that we use the different sides of our bodies in different ways, and it may feel different on this side than it felt on the right side. So again, you've got 3 choices. You can come just up to your toes, you can bring your left foot to the inside of your right shin, or you can bring it all the way up to the inside of the right thigh. And it may be that you feel more stable on the right leg, so you feel like you can try something a little more daring. Really focus on a spot on the wall. Connect back to your breath. And then on your next exhale, slowly and carefully come back down into Tadasana, mountain pose. Beautiful. Okay. Again, slowly, carefully, like you love yourself, we're going to come back down onto our mats, onto all fours. Just take a minute here to do a couple of cat-cows. So inhale, drop your belly, lift your face to the front of the room. Feet are flat on the mat, or sorry, tops of the feet are on the mat. Exhale, really push the mat away from you. Arch your back like a Halloween cat. Tuck your tailbone. Tuck your chin into your chest. Inhale for another cow. And exhale for another cat. And you may just want to find a little bit of movement here if you feel any stiffness in your back or feel like you need to stretch that out. Really nice. Okay, now we're going to move down onto our bums on our mat. Legs are going to go straight out in front of you. So sorry. If you find it hard to sit up straight like this, can I just encourage you that that is completely normal? And it was only until or after I started doing a really regular yoga practice that I have been able to find more height and strength in my back to sit up straight like this. So let me just encourage you that if this feels hard to you, that's a really normal thing. But regular yoga practice will help it a lot. So we're going to sit just here. You may even want to take the fleshy part of your bum and pull it out from the sides here so that you really feel your sits bones connect with your mat. And then we're just going to take a minute here to see if we can find a little bit of that lift in the spine. On an inhale, see if you can lift, and then on an exhale, fold forward. Now, your fold, you may be one of those people who's just naturally really loosey-goosey and you can just fold yourself in half and wonderful. If you're not one of those people, then you can bend your knees. That's what I'm going to do. So we're going to bend our knees here, lift through the spine, on the exhale, fold forward so that your front body's just resting on your thighs. You can bring your hands to the outside of your feet. We're just going to take a few breaths here. Maybe drop your head down in between your knees and just rest here. Always coming back to that breath. After a few breaths, you may feel like you could find a little bit more space in the backs of your legs so you could take your feet out just a little bit further. Okay, on an inhale, slowly come back up to seated position. And then we're just going to slide ourselves down onto our mats. Take it easy here. You may want to hold on to your thighs and just slowly ease yourself till you're on your back. Oh, well done. Take your if you bend your feet are on the floor, knees are bent,
take your right ankle and cross it over your left leg so that your right ankle is against your left knee. And then just lift. You can look at me if you need to. Reach your hands through your right hand goes through that hole that you're making with your bent knee, and your hands come around your left thigh. And then just gently draw the left leg toward you, finding space in your right hip, down your right IT band, through your psoas. Maybe even using that right elbow to press the right knee away from you if you feel like you need just a little bit of a deeper stretch. Really nice. Well done. Slowly bring your feet back to the mat, and we're just going to do the same thing on the other side. So left ankle comes across to right knee, making a kind of square here, and then your hands come around your right thigh. Just use your hands to gently draw your right thigh toward your chest. Maybe using the left elbow to press the left knee away from you if you need that stretch. Notice how this feels different on each side. Really nice. Can you draw it just a little bit closer? And then feet come back to the mat. Now just lift your legs up here in a 90-degree angle so that your knees are over your hips. Your feet are out, hanging out here. Hands come to your knees, and then just take a minute here to rock around your hips, around your sacrum, just to give your lower back a massage. So you can take your knees around in a circle, both directions. Just go wherever that feels good for you. And then for just a minute, we're going to come into happy baby. So you're going to grab the outsides of your feet with your hands. Bottoms of feet are pointing up to the sky. Legs are open like a happy little baby. You can find a little bit of movement here. See if you can find some joy. Just think about a child, like my children, how they don't worry about anything really. What does it feel like to know that you have everything you need? Can you rest in the knowledge that you're enough? Beautiful. Okay, just staying on your back. Bring your feet down to your mat and then slowly slide them out long. Just give your body a minute to unwind and to really melt into your mat. Can you notice where you might be holding some tension in your body? Can you allow your feet to flop open to the sides?
You maybe even draw your sacrum closer to your heels. Are you holding tension in your pelvis or your chest? Can you draw your shoulders further away from your ears, bringing your shoulder blades down behind your heart space? And just allowing your hands to fall at your sides, palms open to the sky. Notice if there's any tension in your face. Can you relax the muscles of your face and drop your tongue away from the roof of your mouth? I'm going to hold this space for you for just a few minutes while you're still. Can you just rest? When you're ready, just start to become aware of your body again, of the space that you're in. Don't rush. But when you're ready, bring your right arm overhead and lay it on the floor. And when you're ready, roll to your right side using that arm as a pillow beneath your head. Just coming into a fetal position. When you're ready, bring your left hand to the floor and use it to push yourself up. Just slowly and gently making your way into Sukhasana, cross-legged, easy pose, back on your mat. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Just bring your hands to your heart in prayer. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste. I'm going to hang around for just a few minutes if anybody wants to chat, but if you need to rush off, that's totally fine. Thank you guys so much for coming. I have recorded it. If you want the recording for any reason, I'm going to send it to people who aren't here, but if it would help you to have it during the week, just shoot me an email and I will make sure to send it to you. But other than that, I hope you have an amazing day and I will see you again next week.
Thanks, Faith.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's lovely.
Oh, good. I hope you're feeling really mellowed out now.
I am really mellow. Seriously mellow. It's like a little highlight of my day off.
Oh, good. Whenever I do like Shavasana at the end, and like when you roll over into fetal position, I'm always like, I could just stay here
Yeah.
for a really long time.
I'm always hoping that I'm not snoring. When
It's completely acceptable to fall asleep.
Yeah. It's that real halfway, isn't it? It's that real tension of dropping into sleep.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you were asleep and we finished, I would just close the meeting. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to stop the recording now. Let's see.